everyone, welcome once again to my channel. I hope you're well and fine. In today's video, I am going to be sort of like analyzing a movie that I watched on Netflix called Fair Play. Hey God, this movie, even though it started out slow for me, as it began to build up, I was like, wow. And I think watching this movie at this time, was the right thing to do, considering the fact that on Twitter there was a particular post that trended where a guy posted that, oh, things a lady think no the times when a boyfriend starts to hate his girlfriend, and there was this huge discourse on it, men really coming out and stating instances when they've hated their girlfriend, some ladies coming out to collaborate what these men have or had said, and also a recent tweet that I just saw which prompted me to make this video. If you go on TikTok, there are certain people who will say men hate women, and for me, I won't want to, like, I've tried as much as I can not to believe that, but when you hear the things that come out from some men's mouths, oh my God, you will even be scared. So what is the movie Fair Play about? Fair Play is about a couple who works in the same organization, I think a hedge fund, and they are, funny enough, they are at the same level, right? They are at the same level. I think they are analysts, and a spot comes on, or a vacancy comes up in their office, and it is, the news on the grapevine is that the man is going to get the job. But alas, guess who gets the job? The woman. And this woman getting the job threatens the entirety of this man's existence. This man literally went mad from trying to sabotage her at the office, to giving her cold treatment, to just treating her really shabbily, and lastly, he took advantage of her forcefully. I don't want to use that word on YouTube. And he felt like he could get away with it. He wanted to just up and leave, and I think something snapped in her, and she sort of like threatened him, and he apologized. And then there is this recent tweet that I saw where a lady said the generator, if you're not familiar with Nigeria, we don't have stable power supply, so the generator, became or had issues, and she, dismantled the generator and repaired it, and when she went back home, her boyfriend never called her, he actually ghosted her. Everything falls back to all these three stories I've mentioned, falls back to the emasculation of men, or how men can feel emasculated by certain achievements that women make, okay, their ego in general. And the question now would be, what percentage of men feel that way? What is the percentage of men that would feel threatened when their significant other is, you know, doing things better than them, or probably is achieving incredible heights at their office, or just is achieving incredible things? What sort of men will not be affected by this? What sort of men will not be threatened by a woman's success? It's really interesting to see. And it's one of the things that made me, you know growing up in the African setting, women around would say, oh, if you are making money, don't allow your husband to make, because of certain things like this. I feel like as you grow up, you begin to understand certain stories, certain things that older women have told you, that you never really understood. As you grow up and you start to understand life, you begin to now really understand why certain women say certain stories. Like, for instance, there have been stories that women would build houses and their husbands would never know. I remember reading one story on Diary of a Naija girl's Instagram page, where the lady said she made a huge amount of money, and she told her husband, and the husband said I think they should bring the money I used to do a certain business and didn't want to pay back, or something like that. The question is it true that men hate women? Or is it that men would rather their wife is always would always be below them, you know? This will now come to the conversation of where we talk about, you say, sort of like when a man takes the lead, and so even though certain women know that they are able to, exceed whatever exploits or achievements their husband have, they keep it under wraps. It's really an interesting question. It's really, I say, question, like, interesting topic as a whole, as an African woman, as a woman, as a black woman. It's really an interesting discourse, and definitely is something that I would love to even have conversations with people. What are my thoughts? What are my thoughts? Well, I mean, the as regards the movie Fair Play, should we thank God that their relationship was or ended at an engagement? What would have happened if they were truly a married couple? And can we see why certain organizations will say that they don't want relationships, in the workplace, or they don't want married couples within the same workspace? For me, I'm looking at it from the angle where, let's say they were actually married, what would be a way to handle it? Because there was one thing that the female lead kept on doing, that was saying, like, okay, there has to be a difference. Like, she kept on pushing on the man. She kept on, I don't know, to her, she was trying to help out. Okay, she was trying to help the man out, but the thing is that it only made it worse. It only made him feel worse. Like when she said, "Oh, I'll help you get the promotion," that was terribly emasculating. On her own side, she's like, "Okay, now that I have the power, I can bring you up. I can make you so we can be at the same level." But that even made the man feel worse. So she emasculated him further. There were various instances like that, and sometimes people just have to sit. People just have to sit in whatever situation that they are going through and come out of it. Um, what else do I want to say on this? Also, I definitely understand hiding certain things because at the end of the day, you don't know who you are going to end up with, right? You don't know who you are going to end up with. You do not know if, and I mean, not everybody is going to be rounded. Let me put it that way. They will tell you, marry somebody who is, confident in themselves, marry somebody who, knows themselves, who is not threatened by a woman's position. But how will you know until it happens? Even though these conversations can be had before, relationships, how would you know how a person reacts until that situation presents itself? And that's why a lot of people will say take classes on, marriage and how to handle certain issues within marriage, go for counseling and things like that. I just feel like it's um a really interesting scenario. So yeah, what are your thoughts? Hey, I'm sounding like Bobrisky. But yes, what are your thoughts on Fair Play? I know this analysis is all over the place, but I mean, hey, um I'm just trying to bring out my thoughts as it is in my head at this moment. What are your thoughts on this topic? Um, did you enjoy the movie? Do you feel men do not like women and are just, for the sake of procreation? Let's have a conversation in the comments. I still remain your favorite girl, Amara. Till I see you in my next video. Bye.
I begin to